Some mysteries never end. Welcome back to the channel. Tonight's story begins with a crime so unbelievable that more than 3 decades later, the evidence is still hanging on the walls. Not replicas, not replacements, empty frames. Silent reminders of a theft that has never been solved. A theft that stole some of the most valuable artworks on Earth. A theft worth hundreds of millions of dollars. And a mystery that continues to frustrate investigators to this day. This is the story of the Gardner Museum Heist, March 18th, 1990, Boston, Massachusetts. The city was celebrating St. Patrick's Day weekend. Crowds filled bars, parties lasted late into the night, and while much of Boston slept, 2 men were preparing for what would become the largest art theft in modern history. Just after midnight, a security guard sat inside the Isabella Stewart Gardner Museum. The museum itself was unlike any other. Founded by art collector Isabella Stewart Gardner, it housed priceless masterpieces from around the world. Works by Rembrandt, Vermeer, Degas, Manet, and countless others. The collection was considered irreplaceable, and according to Gardner's will, the artwork could never be rearranged or removed. Everything had to remain exactly where she left it. That detail would later become chillingly important. At approximately 1:24 a.m., a buzzer sounded at the museum entrance. Outside stood 2 men dressed as police officers. They claimed they were responding to a disturbance call. The security guard hesitated. Museum policy clearly stated, never open the door. But it was late. The officers looked convincing, and the guard made a decision that would change history. He let them in, a decision that lasted only seconds, but would echo for decades. Moments later, the officers revealed their true intentions. This was no police visit. One of the men reportedly told the guard, "Don't worry, this is a robbery." The guards were handcuffed, duct-taped, and taken to the basement. For the next 81 minutes, the thieves had complete control of the museum. No alarm, no interruptions, no witnesses. They moved calmly through the galleries, selecting specific works, ignoring others, taking some of the most valuable paintings in existence. Among them was Johannes Vermeer's masterpiece, The Concert, one of only a few dozen Vermeer paintings known to exist. Today, many experts consider it one of the most valuable missing artworks in the world. They also stole Rembrandt's famous painting, The Storm on the Sea of Galilee, the only seascape Rembrandt ever painted. Another Rembrandt, a Chinese bronze vessel, several Degas sketches, and multiple additional pieces, 13 works in total. Then something unusual happened. Rather than carefully removing some paintings from their frames, the thieves simply cut the canvases out, slashing them from the frames with knives. The damage alone shocked investigators. Why would professionals risk destroying priceless masterpieces? The answer remains unknown. By 2:45 a.m., the thieves were gone, and with them, more than $500 million in stolen art. The next morning, museum employees discovered the crime. The sight was surreal. Masterpieces missing, frames hanging empty, walls scarred by theft. It looked less like a museum and more like a crime scene. The FBI quickly launched an investigation. Leads poured in from around the world. Art experts, organized crime investigators, international agencies. Everyone wanted answers, but almost immediately, the mystery deepened. Because the theft itself didn't make sense. The criminals appeared organized. Yet they left behind other masterpieces worth enormous sums. Some paintings worth millions remained untouched. Why steal certain pieces while ignoring others nearby? Investigators began to suspect the thieves were working from a list. a specific shopping list. Someone knew exactly what they wanted. Over the years, countless theories emerged. Some believed organized crime groups ordered the theft. Others suspected the paintings were being used as bargaining chips. Unlike diamonds or cash, famous stolen paintings are almost impossible to sell openly. Everyone knows what they look like. Every major auction house watches for them. Every museum tracks them. Which raised another question. If the thieves couldn't sell the paintings, why steal them? One theory suggested they were intended for the black market, hidden in private collections, viewed only by a small number of wealthy criminals. Another theory claimed the artworks were traded repeatedly among criminal organizations, used almost like currency, a valuable asset hidden from public view. But no one has ever proven any theory. Years passed, then decades. The FBI pursued hundreds of leads. Search warrants were executed. Witnesses were interviewed. Potential suspects were identified. And still, the paintings never appeared. No verified sightings, no confirmed recoveries, no breakthrough, just silence. The reward continued to grow, eventually reaching $10 million. One of the largest rewards ever offered for stolen property. Yet nobody came forward with information that solved the mystery. Inside the museum, the empty frames remained. Visitors walked through the galleries, stopping in front of blank spaces where masterpieces once hung, looking not at art, but at absence, at questions, at history frozen in place. Perhaps the most haunting part of the story is that the museum deliberately left those empty frames exactly where they were. Not as decoration, not as a memorial, but as hope. Hope that one day the paintings might return. That decision transformed the museum itself into part of the mystery. Every empty frame became a question. Where are the paintings now? Who has seen them? And who knows the truth? As the years passed, many original suspects died. Potential witnesses disappeared. Memories faded. Evidence grew colder. Yet investigators continued searching. Then in 2013, the FBI made a surprising announcement. They believed they had identified the thieves, but there wasn't enough evidence to bring charges. For a brief moment, it seemed the mystery might finally be solved. But once again, the paintings remained missing. No arrest, no recovery, no conclusion. Today, more than 3 decades after the robbery, the Gardner Museum Heist remains one of the greatest unsolved art crimes in history. The stolen works are estimated to be worth hundreds of millions of dollars. Some estimates place the value above $500 million. Others suggest it could be significantly higher. But the true loss cannot be measured in money, because these were not ordinary objects. They were irreplaceable pieces of human history. And somewhere, perhaps hidden in a private room, a warehouse, a secret collection, or a place nobody has ever searched, those masterpieces may still survive, waiting to be discovered, waiting to come home, or perhaps they are gone forever, destroyed, damaged, lost to time. No one knows. And that uncertainty is what makes this case so fascinating. A crime committed in just 81 minutes has remained unsolved for more than 35 years. The thieves vanished, the paintings vanished, and the empty frames remain, still hanging, still waiting, still asking the same question. What happened to the missing masterpieces? And who got away with the greatest art theft in history? What do you think happened to the stolen paintings? Are they hidden in a private collection, locked away in a warehouse, or were they destroyed long ago? Share your theory in the comments below. And if you enjoy unsolved mysteries, forgotten crimes, and real cases that continue to puzzle investigators, subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss the next mystery. Until next time, stay curious.